It's a happy Independence Day episode today, Gripaholics. We're counting the days down to the South Jersey 4 competition. We'll be talking about the medley items, which were just released, and we're still trying to get out of this hole we've dug for ourselves and this crazy backlog. All of this and more in episode 22 of This Week in Grap. Hey everybody, it's Jed. I got Alan here. It's episode 22 of This Week in Grip. First and foremost, sorry for the bad audio quality last week. Man, I'll tell you, it's not the software, guys. It is just simply my internet service. I have really bad internet and even worse, cell service. I get my cell service through the internet here. And when you're dealing with a company as low down and dirty as Frontier, brother, sometimes you get stabbed in the back. And that's when the recording, like last week, takes place, when Frontier really turns heel on you. Just a reminder, use the hashtag ThisWeekInGrip when you can on social media. It'll help us find your posts. I see we're way up over 300 posts now, Alan. I bet we're probably close to 350, 400 posts with This Week in Grip.
Yep,
give the video a like, guys. 392?
332.
Yeah, 332. All right. Awesome. So everybody's doing a good job. Really appreciate that. And that's going to help us out big time. Another thing that's going to help us out big time is if you give this video a like. Now, I don't have the time to go into the entire logarithm of YouTube, guys. I don't even know everything about it, but I can tell you that if we can get like a 10-to-1 or 20-to-1 ratio of likes to dislikes, that's going to help out our cause a lot better. It's not that I want you to help promote my YouTube channel. That's not what it's about. It's going to get the video itself promoted more often because of that engagement measure of the likes. So please hit the like button. And also, everybody, because it's going to help us spread the word, it's going to help us with rule number 1 of Grip Sport, which everybody knows. The first rule of Grip Sport is you tell everyone about Grip Sport. All right, Alan. How you doing, buddy? How's everything going? I know you're chomping at the bit for South Jersey 4.
Oh, yeah, I'm real excited. Yep. Training's starting to wind down for me, so I was hoping to be a little bit better off on some lifts than I am, but still excited nonetheless. I actually had just sent payment to Sean Capusta for a half 110 hex that I'm going to be picking up while I'm down there. So that's just one more thing to look forward to. Yeah, still has the handle on it, and it looked like it, from the pictures, that it has some decent texture. So I'm hoping this is going to be a new goal hex weight for me. So we'll see. Can't wait to put my hands on it.
Cool. You got any idea like what company of hex dumbbell that it is? Is it like a cap hex head that's a lot of the more recent lifts have been done on, or is it something a little bit older? I know you said the texture looks pretty good.
It looks to me like it's been around for a while, and it's probably seen some use. I think the handle had actually broken on it as opposed to it being sawed off. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a well-worn one. It looked like it could be of the cap style, but kind of hard for me to tell on some of those things. But yeah, not a lot of the real high polished paint left anyway. So kind of a natural beating it's taken. So should be fun.
Right.
We'll see.
Well, yeah, that's the best beating. That's the best beating you can have on a dumbbell is the natural kind. If anybody's dealt with the cap hex head dumbbells, man, that hammer tone paint or whatever it is that's on there can be an absolute bitch to train with. A lot of times chalk will not stick to it, so it helps out a lot for that chalk to adhere when you've got some good surface. So, before I forget, also, everybody, if there's any veterans listening to the call, I want to say thank you for your service. We would not be doing this. We would not have the free and independent country that we have without you guys. So thank you very much. Yeah, sorry to hear your training's been down a little bit, Alan. That stinks going into a contest. I got to say that I had some real good luck, like up until about a week ago with my training, and then everything is shut off myself on my end as well. So I actually, this past week, totally like blew off the training that I had planned for the comp in preparation for the comp, and I went for a 5-minute, as many reps as possible with the inch dumbbell this weekend. I've been meaning to try to see what I can do in 10 minutes like Ode Haugen did at the Arnold 2 years ago. Didn't have the guts to try 10 minutes this time, but 5 minutes was a burner, man. It was quite the workout. I wasn't breathing nearly as bad as I thought it would, but man, my legs were burning.
I saw that you posted that video, and I didn't get a chance to look at it yet. So how many reps did you end up hitting?
Well, it depends on what you call a rep. I was trying to pull the bell up to about crotch height, not to sound like, like a heathen or anything, but, I figured that was kind of like a good height standard to go by. There were a couple that I didn't really get the height that I wanted. And then Luke he videoed it on his phone. I videoed it on my flip cam. And we went through on his, and I think he said something like 26 or something like that. I don't know if he was counting. Yeah, I don't know if he was counting those ones that didn't quite get as high. He was probably just counting the ones that got pretty high. But I actually didn't watch it back all the way through either, so I don't know. It's something like that. It was definitely 20 plus. Let's put it that way. But some of them I didn't get my hips locked out all the way before it popped out of my hand. But it's also the first time I've done that. I've done lots of grip rushes for just a minute, but I never went for I think the most I've gone for is like 90 seconds. I was doing some back and forth challenges with Joel Dirks. You know that name on social media?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's like over 300 pounds. I think he's sponsored by a couple supplement companies. He puts in a lot of work with muscle building and powerlifting style training. But he's also huge, and he did at least quite a bit amount of training with Dave Osland, actually. And for a while they were doing some grip stuff together with the blob and inch dumbbell and things. So somehow I ended up seeing one of those videos, and when we did some challenges back and forth. So we did like 90-second bouts when we were going back and forth. And I don't remember how many I was able to get. I think we were loading to a platform for our inch dumbbell work, so it slows things down quite a bit. But really, my hands didn't get too tired until about the 4-minute and 30-second mark. I felt like I probably could have gotten a couple more lifts out of my left hand, actually. It was my right hand that really burnt out, as I recall. So it was pretty cool. Like I said, I've been trying to work that in. I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I just finally got to, just took the time to do it the other day.
Nice.
Hey, some other stuff that I've got coming up on the YouTube channel, if people want to watch for it, is I was sent some things to review. So I've got some review videos coming out. So I don't know, Alan, have you seen the Gripster on like social media? The Gripster?
I think I've heard of that. I'm not real familiar with it though. What's that?
Cool.
What's that about?
It's more like a climbing grip training tool. And there's a few variations of it. Like there's the Gripster, there's the Globester, and there's the Chunkster. But they're all the kind of thing that you can hang from and then do different holds from. There's like multiple grips that you can use on each implement. They're pretty cool. They're made out of like this high density plastic type stuff. I don't know what you really call it. Maybe polyurethane or something. I don't know, man. And then so that'll be coming out soon. And then also I got these really cool bending trainer devices from William LePage and Neil Bakerless. If you remember, way at the beginning of the year, I think Neil Bakerless got certified on the Red Nail, and I think William LePage has also been certified as well. You remember those names?
I do, yes. Yep.
Yeah, so they sent me these cool items. I guess they use these in order to train to certify on the Red and go beyond it. And what it is they've fashioned these springs. Oh, look, I'm over here by the side of the road, and there's a fawn running. I wonder if there's something running after it. I don't know. It's like prancing through the lawn. That's pretty cool. But they bent these bars into springs, and then you can train the kink position with these bars, and then also like the crush down, the sweep, especially on these bars. They're really, really cool. They're really, really cool. I wish I bent more because I'd be able to like really utilize these things if I did. I think there's some really good potential for, especially for warming up prior to bending, because they offer some pretty good resistance, and I think it can really help people out as far as that regard. And then plus, you won't have to go through as much steel if you use these things. So it's pretty cool. So those videos will be coming up soon. And then did you see that we got some responses last week, Alan, about if you had to go to prison, what would you take with you?
I saw. The only one that I actually saw that came through was from Thomas Larson, and I thought he mentioned about the inch dumbbell, if I'm not mistaken. But were there too many others?
Yeah, there were two others. So Thomas Larson said, at this moment, I would like to bring an inch dumbbell if I had to go to prison. There's some issues to this, though. I don't think you could bring a grip equipment to your cell legally. I don't think I can fit an inch in my ass. So it would be hard to smuggle inside. Maybe a gripper would be allowed in some prisons. I work in a prison, by the way, so that's pretty cool, man. I did not know that he worked in a prison. But I bet the grip work that he does do is pretty darn helpful in that line of work, just in case riot breaks out or someone gets a little bit feisty. Someone else said, I would take the Vulcan 2 gripper, 100% best training tool that I have, which that's a good idea. If you take in your Vulcan, you can adjust the settings, and you actually take in, the equivalent of many different grippers. And then James Rectoritas also said he would bring an inch. I would finally have enough time to focus on the damn thing. I will be at SJ4 and look forward to it after the event. I'm weighing a girthy 223 right now. So there is the responses from last week's question. What would you take with you if you had to go to prison? Have you changed your opinion? I know you said blob last week, Alan. Have you come up with anything that you thought would be more fitting for that environment?
No. I still like the blob concept, actually.
Yep. Cool.
I'd stand by that one. So
great.
Yeah.
Great. So here's one. Now, this is not something that I brought up. This is something that came up in the Northwest Grip Enthusiasts group, and this is a few weeks old, but I thought I'd throw that out there. And I don't remember who brought this up. I can't remember, but it was, what would be a woman's equivalent to a Thomas inch dumbbell? I mean for weight. So we have 172 for the standard, but what about for women? And that's what I'd like people to weigh in on this week. What would be the women's equivalent to the Thomas inch replica dumbbell? Naturally, the men's standard is 172 with a 2 3/8 inch handle. What would the women's standard be? What do you think, Alan?
I think the baby inch would be a good equivalent there, being that it's in the 135-pound category. Mm-hmm. And we've seen women lift similar things on like the 2.5-inch crusher, for example. I don't know exactly some of the weights we've seen, but I think Ashley Reff has lifted. She's lifted a fairly heavy weight, probably not in that ballpark necessarily, but fairly heavy. I know Becca Roberts. We've seen what she's done on the axle as of lately. Pulling over 300 pounds on it. So. Yeah. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility, and I think it's at the top end enough that it would, in my mind, I guess, fit as that. So, yeah. What did you think?
Well, it's funny. I kind of went the other way with it when I first saw this, and I said that keep it at 172, but make it a smaller handle. So that idea was met with absolutely zero support by the women constituents of that group, by the way. So I don't think that's the way to go. But you know, who knows?
What did they offer? What did they think for the? I don't know who all's in that group. I didn't even catch that discussion.
Yeah.
But what did they? What was the consensus?
The consensus, the only consensus that I can recall was keep the handle the same. It would be a lighter weight, and then there wasn't really. I don't recall there being a suggestion given. I would say, Alan, that I logged this topic as far back as maybe even a month or longer. So the details are gone, brother. But it seemed like a pretty cool topic to cover. I expected there to be more conversation around this when it took place, but I think that group is still very very small. I don't think there's like dozens and dozens of people in there, let alone hundreds of people in there. So I don't think there was a big body of people that could really weigh in anyway. So let alone I don't know how many women were in there. I know Amy Waddles mentioned something, and I can't remember who brought the discussion up, but I thought it was pretty cool. I'd like to hear what other people think, especially the women that are listening to the show, what they think would be a good equivalent based on their experiences.
To me, I guess one other suggestion too, rather than approaching it as the Thomas Inch equivalent, because this was a bell that that Thomas Inch had come up with himself, for example. We have the Mark Henry bell out there, the Millennium Bell. It would maybe be a better thing for one of the women, if interested, to maybe come up with the concept of a challenge bell. You take some of the ladies that we've got out there, the Amy Waddles, the Becca Roberts, people of such, why not? I guess that would be my thought. If I was looking for something that would be my equivalent to it, why not have an opportunity and have a bell named after one of them? Because to go with like the Baby Inch, that just sounds, I don't know, to me, I don't know. You're taking something that already exists. I guess maybe something designed by the women for the women as their
that's a great idea.
Implement.
That's
and then you could have like the Becca Roberts bell or something like that, or whatever they want to call it. And then pick their own handle size, whatever they think is appropriate. If some of them, I don't want to say if their hands are different sizes, but that would be, I think they should come up with it, whatever they think their challenge bell should be. That would be a better thing rather than something that's already made for men, unless they were interested in it.
Right. So, yeah, that's good thinking, dude. That's good thinking. I like that idea. Maybe someday, someone will work on that and put something out. That would be pretty cool. I think that's a good idea, man. I think you hit it on the head.
Lots of opportunities out there for it, for sure. Yeah, with everybody making things nowadays, with like Selene iron and stuff, I would think it wouldn't be hard to get something whipped together.
Right. Yeah. Cool, man. What would you like to start out with? You want to run down some contests that have taken place?
Yeah. Had you seen? I know Oregon's Strongest Hands had just wrapped up on July 1st. Now, I'm not able to access the immediate results while I'm talking on my phone. I look at my work phone, and I'm not able to view some of those things. I don't know if you've got the updates from that you can look at.
Well, I haven't seen the results yet. I might be able to dig into them. Where are they? Because I wasn't sure where they had been posted, actually.
They're posted on the results are posted on the grip board. And I'm looking in let's see here. I'm in the Facebook group right now, and all I saw was a picture of it, actually. Yeah, just a picture, but I don't see that he actually posted the results there. But I'm not logged in the grip board on my phone. It's kind of tricky to do, so I can't see some of those. But he does have it in like a PDF format, I believe, a downloadable format, how the scores were in the finals and stuff. But I just can't see it from what I'm looking at right now.
I can log in and grab it. I think I'm actually logged in on my phone right now, so I can find that. So why don't you just give me a minute, and maybe you can talk about like something else in the meantime, and I'll pull it up while you're talking.
Sure. All right. Well, I'll try to bring up. I saw over on Iron Mind, on Iron Mind's news, that there was an APL arm lifting championship that had taken place recently here, and we haven't covered that yet. Let me see here. So they posted this. This came out on June 27th. looks like the APL Kiev Arm Lifting Championships took place. It says it was promoted by Roman Zagaruko and Dmitro Ionov. The Open Bars Challenge Arm Lifting and Arm Wrestling Tournament in Kiev drew athletes from around Ukraine and featured 3 grip strength favorites. Looks like they had the Rolling Thunder, the captains of Crush, Silver Bullet Hold, and the Little Bighorn. And looks like the competition included, let's see here, we had a few different weight classes. There was some women competitors. It looks like there was a Lydia Ginkgo, strong woman, number 2 ranked in the world, and Olga Lyashuk, another strong woman, number 3 ranked in the world, and then some men competitors. There was Artem Yushchenko. Looks like he was a bronze medalist of the Ukrainian Team Championship. That's a strongman event. Dmitry Ionov, another arm wrestler. Looks like he's champion 110 class. Roman Zagaruko, looks like he's a record holder in the Ukrainian Federation of Arm Lifting for the Rolling Thunder, actually. And then Igor Kopinski was apparently a past Silver Bullet Hold world record holder.
Okay.
So looks like top 3 places by event for each man. So it looks like Roman hit 103 kilograms in the Rolling Thunder, Artem 100, and Dmitry hit 93K. So those are some big pulls on that. Looks like the Silver Bullet Hold, and this is interesting. I didn't actually know that they did it like this, but for the 80 kilogram weight class, it looks like they used a COC number 1.5 actually. And some of these names I'm really gonna struggle with. So I think I'll probably there was a Sherbakov Volodymyr hit that for 36.6 seconds. Lepin Alexei hit it for 35.43, and Martinenko Mykola for 26 seconds. Then the 100 kilogram class, they actually did a COC too. So yeah, I didn't even know they contested things that way. That's really strange.
I don't know what the specific rules are there, but I'm wondering if maybe they started at 3 and nobody could get it, and then started at 2.5 and nobody could get it, and they were like, well, I guess we keep going and keep dropping. I don't know.
Yeah, yep. So they kind of followed suit with that. The 100K went up to number 2. The 100 plus, they actually worked on the 2.5, and then they had the Little Bighorn event. So they had a decent turnout. Little Bighorn, the guys pulled some solid numbers. Igor Kopinski hit 111.2 kilograms. So
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty huge. I'm not sure where that is in terms of the current world record, but it can't be that far off. I think the record's around 250 or something like that. Cody Burns had recently just pulled something that would have been a training lift of over that. So yeah, good turnout there. Doesn't look like any new records were established, but nonetheless, some people hit some solid numbers. So.
Jeez. Yeah, that's 111 kilos. Gee whiz, I don't know what that is in conversion. That's got to be 240 at least.
That's it. That's yes, the low 240s. So yeah. 245ish probably. Yeah, so that's a pretty big number. So,
crazy.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds like there were some pretty decorated athletes in that contest that were competing.
Yeah. Yep. Some solid grip carryover from the strongman and the strong woman training, that's for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I pulled up the results from the Oregon Strongest Hand if you want me to go over some of this stuff now.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see what they did.
Cool. So I actually had Michael Thomas lined up to be on the call with us at the end of the call, but some stuff came up, I guess, that he's dealing with. So he's not going to be on the call with us, but these are the names of the people that competed: Kelly Gilson, Persida Meyer, Mary Askew, Michael Thomas, David Amon, Frank Winbigler, great name, by the way, John Walsh, and Craig Gilson. So it looks like there were 8 competitors. Let's see. Ages ranged from 20 for Persida Meyer up to 53 for Kelly Gilson and Craig Gilson. So a good spread of ages. Weight classes, there were 3 people in the 160 and under. There were 2 people at 201 to 225. There were a couple people at 176 to 200 and 1 person at 226 and above. For grippers, Michael Thomas took first. He closed a 148. I believe all the other competitors were first-time competitors and may have been the first time that they actually experienced grippers. So the next biggest close below Michael's 148 was 87, and that was done by Frank Winbigler, John Walsh, and Craig Gilson. Then there was a 77 that David Iman closed. Kelly Gilson and Persida Mayer both closed the 65, and then Mary Askew closed the 47. The next lift was the Ironmind Blockbuster Pinch Block. Biggest lift on the day there was 72.09 pounds by Michael Thomas. 66.98 was the next highest weight, and that was lifted by David Iman, John Walsh, and Craig Gilson. Then it went down to it went down to 57.3 for Frank Winbigler, and then we go to 37 pounds and below for Mary Askew, Kelly Gilson, and Persida Mayer. So that's kind of a wide pinch block. I think you said that you've never really used the Ironmind pinch block, right?
Yeah, no, I've never touched it, even seen it other than on videos. So I don't know anything about it.
It's pretty wide. It's actually wide enough that it's uncomfortable for me. So I could see why you would see such a drop off. I think those last 3 people are all women. So I could see where it would be difficult for them. The next one was the MGT 2-inch Trilobite. Mammoth Grip Tools. It wasn't registering for a minute. So that's a rolling handle. So Michael got 202.58, and then the next lift down was 172.9 by David Iman, and then we dropped down. We had 162.94 by John Walsh, and then we had 141 and 131 respectively for Craig Gilson and Frank Winbigler, and then we had. Then we're dropping down to 81, 72, and 62 for the ladies. Then it went on to the grip top stub. So a wide variety of implements here, Alan, and also a wide variety of widths. So all of the areas are covered here. Michael Thomas got 45.79 pounds on the stub, which, man, that seems like a big number.
That does seem like a big number, yes.
Yeah, that's huge, I think. Then we dropped down to 35, 30, 22, and then under 20 for the women. He had another name for that. It might have been like the skin scraper or something like that.
Sounds appropriate.
That has such a tendency to rip your skin off on a drop lift. Then we had the rear pickaxe. You ever done any rear pickaxe, Alan?
No, I haven't. I've never played with that at all. I've done some rear sledge levering, but nothing with the pickaxe.
Yeah.
How do you do?
Yeah, Michael got 15.48. Which I believe is a pretty darn good lift. That's definitely more than I can do. Very, very tough. So he takes the clean sweep of all 5 events, but like I said before, I believe he indicated that all of the lifters that took part in the contest were first-time grip people, so they didn't have nearly the experience that some people would have on the implements. So got to take your hat off to these guys. I wrote a note to the CrossFit place that held the competition, which I don't have that information right in front of me, but I wrote them saying thanks because I knew how much effort Michael had put into this. So I thought it was huge that they pulled through with the location for him. That was really sweet. So Michael got the 15.48 on the pickaxe. The next highest lift was 11.46, and that was by John Walsh. And then two dudes got 10.36. I believe that was David Amon and Craig Gilson. And then we dropped down a little bit lower. We had 8.12 pounds, 6.5 pounds, and then 5.46 pounds. So, hey, it's a good introduction to the people. And what I was hoping to talk about with Michael today was just some of the things that he ran into as a first-time promoter, because, you know, you don't have Grip Sport without the promoter. Someone's got to run the contest, and I really wanted to get his thoughts. So hopefully we can touch base with him sometime down the line and get his thoughts on that.
Yeah, he had a good turnout for his first competition, so that seemed decent. And, you know, in comparing some of these numbers, you know, on some of the, considering some of these people were first-time competitors, I don't have a lot to go off based off like the Mammoth Grip Tools, you know, 2-inch trilobite handle. But when you look at the numbers compared to the 2-inch crusher numbers on FBBC's site, for example, these people pulled, you know, pretty good, really, you know. You know, I know, you know, Michael Thomas has been doing this. He's got a strong grip, but, you know, 200 pounds on that, that's a solid number. That puts you in, you know, top, just about top 10 on what would be a 2-inch crusher list, you know. And for some of the women competitors, you know, we're seeing the, you know, 70-pound range. So these people actually did really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The first time through. So, yeah, yep. I don't have a lot else to go off of, you know, in terms of some of the other things, but it sounds like it was some decent lifts. So hopefully they stick with it. It sounds like they've got some talent anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I saw that the one lady there, what's her name? The Meyer lady. I think she was the 20-year-old girl. She put up something on there thanking him for running the contest, that she had a good time and stuff like that. So you always like to hear that kind of feedback coming from the competitors. And I'm willing to bet that there were plenty of times there where people either made either too big of jumps, so they ended up failing out of the event, and so really the numbers aren't like as accurate as they could be. They probably could have gotten like a few more pounds on there if they hadn't made such big jumps, because that happens a lot by new competitors. A lot of times they'll say, "Oh wow, that was pretty easy. I'm going to throw 10 pounds on there," and then it ends up being just too much. So sometimes it's not a real accurate indicator of what they were able to get. And, you know, sometimes you have the opposite too, where people don't add enough weight and then they run out of attempts, and the fourth attempt that they take is like brutally easy. So they had more in the tank, and I've seen people like go up there and like once everybody else goes, they go and try a couple other attempts, and they might get 10, 15 more pounds on certain implements. So, you know, there was probably a little bit of that taking place too. So yeah, hopefully they are able to run more contests out there. I love what's going on out there in the Northwest. There's a lot of great things happening. So looking forward to seeing more out of that pocket of the nation.
Yep, right. Okay.
What's up on the grip board, man? Any records lists the last couple of weeks?
Nothing that I'd seen in that regard. I guess the one of the most exciting things that come up there recently, you know, Morgan, we hadn't seen a lot from him lately. He recently just posted a number 4 parallel set close. It was over a couple 100 pounds, and then right afterwards he requested the Mash Monster 6 certification. Oh. So, yep, it looks like that gripper should be on its way, and we should be seeing some results here shortly. So it's always exciting when another person is moving up the ladder.
Oh yeah,
so,
geez.
Yep. Yeah. And I mean, he's certainly got the strength. So, you know, can't wait to see the results. That's getting into some rare territory there once you get up that high. So good for him.
Yep. Rare air, as Richard Soren describes it. Rare air.
Yep. And Daniel Fleming had posted a bit of a PR too. I'm sure this came through on Instagram, but I caught it on the grip board. He had he had 50 kilograms on the one-hand flask pinch. So he is in fine form heading into SJ4 right around the corner.
Yes, he is.
So,
yes, he is.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So that should
be. And looking forward to meeting him as well. And hopefully, I've got a couple of people lined up with crowbars that are going to be standing outside of the conference area. and I've given the description of what he looks like, and hopefully, everything that I have set up works well. Let's just keep it at that.
Yes, that would benefit me also. So we'll see. Okay.
I've heard there's plenty of crowbars down in New Jersey. So if you have the interest of doing a Tanya Harding, Nancy Kerrigan type setup, I believe there's plenty of opportunity there if you're picking up what I'm putting down.
Yeah, that's funny. I haven't heard those names brought up in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Tanya Harding actually got involved in wrestling for a short time, dude. I don't know what became of it, but I know that she got involved in some form.
Oh, okay. It seems like I had seen something like that. I didn't realize it was wrestling so much, but I remember seeing some of the people of that type of stuff, like like Joey Buttafuoco, for example. I remember like some boxing grudge match with him versus Chyna, if you remember her. I don't remember what her last name is, but I'm sure you remember her.
Yeah.
Lexi.
Wow.
Lawler.
I can't.
Lexi. I can't remember.
Jeannie Moorer or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just remember some of those things coming up. It's kind of funny here and there.
Yes.
So,
yes.
All right.
Cool. Dude, did you see that Yuha is still having some trouble, man?
I did. Yeah.
Jeez, poor dude.
I couldn't really decipher those translations don't always come through that clear, but
yeah.
it almost sounds like this is still some fallout from that epic leg session he had done months and months back. It sounds like he's just never fully recovered almost.
Yeah, it almost sounded like it was something that he was experiencing for a while and didn't know it. It was almost like something that he would start pushing the volume and he would start experiencing this, but it was going undiagnosed also. That's kind of
right.
what I picked up from what he was saying there. And I'm happy to report, Alan, that as I sit here in my car along the side of the road, I just killed a spider. So that's one down out of the probably trillions and trillions that are in this world. So that's one thing that you can go to bed, thinking about tonight is one of them is gone.
Yeah.
All right. So, dude, no other records lists or anything like that going on?
I saw, and I'm not sure where it lands on it, but Tanner Merkel had pulled some epic amount of weight on the 3-inch trilobite handle. Hit 168.6 pounds on that. That sounded
right.
like that pretty well moved him to the top of the list, and that's another one. You compare that against FBBC's 3-inch crusher list, and Andrew Derniat hit 174 on that. So, I'm not exactly sure how these two things, compare wise, but that's a pretty darn solid number. So,
yeah.
no denying that. You've pulled on the 3-inch. What were your thoughts? Have you pulled on the 3-inch crusher too, or just the trilobite?
No, not the crusher, just the trilobite. And I think I did like maybe 145 added, maybe. That's not a hard yes there. I know that I was able to get reps with like 130 and 135. And I think
okay.
I was able to get, it might have been 140 added and then a total of like 145. There was a
okay.
period there where I had no scale to weigh anything on. It ended up getting broken one day when one of my friends was down, so I didn't have a scale for a while. But I do have one now, and we'll be able to weigh stuff more accurately. So,
sure.
Yeah.
No, so he's on a roll. He had also posted a number 3 credit card set close, like 148-pound gripper or something like that. So he's on quite a tear still.
Yeah, he is, dude. He is. It's pretty. It's cool to watch. I mean, eventually you'd think these newbie gains or whatever would be drying up, but I guess not. I guess not.
No, not at all. Every time they get a hold of one of the new implements out there, they just rewrite the records for it. So
yeah,
good for them. No. Oh,
It was one of the names you brought up from that contest, Igor Volovich?
I don't remember that name. There was Igor Kupinski was the main
okay.
one. I don't remember the other one. Yep.
All right. The reason I brought that up is I'm going through my backlog of feats here, and I see that there was an Igor Volovich who lifted a 21 kilo one of those Stilarukov blobs on May 27th, 2017. That I wanted to highlight there. It looks like they're getting pretty formal with those blob certifications. That's a pretty good idea for that company.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Seeing a lot more pictures of those blobs coming up too. So it sounds like they're definitely getting out there.
Yeah. Yep, for sure. I also saw that Becca created a new lift a few weeks back. I don't know if you saw the Hubdicopter that she named.
Oh, yes, I do remember that. Yep.
And what was it? It was the Iron Mind hub with 10 kilograms attached to it?
I believe it was the Iron Mind hub. I don't recall the exact weight, but I do believe it was the Iron Mind hub.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. And if you can imagine, she picks it up and then she starts turning around in a circle, everybody. So you've got what is that, centripetal force or centrifugal force that you're dealing with there, Alan?
Centrifugal is what I would go with, yeah.
Okay. So instead of the sensation of 10 kilograms, at top speed, you're probably feeling much heavier than that, if not like double or triple that weight, if you can get some good speed going. So that was pretty cool. I think I'd probably pass out and puke from dizziness if I tried that myself, Alan. I'm not really good on like throw-up rides.
Right. No, that would be tricky. Yeah. The twirling around part, I wouldn't. Well, I don't really have the room for that in my training anyway. But no, I agree. That would probably be the hardest part of that.
Yeah, for sure. But it would be something to try, though. I mean, it would definitely show ownership over the challenge item. Like if you got out there doing it with a blob or something like that and started spinning around, and actually, going fast enough to overcome the weight of the blob and start kicking that thing up in the air, there's got to be some crazy force going on there.
Yeah, right. Yep, no doubt. That would be a neat one to see somebody try to pull that off. Yeah, turn into quite the wrecking ball though if you lost it. But
well, that's true. That's true.
A good thing for trying outside anyway.
There was a couple weeks ago, Alan, that we were talking about the Raymond Cody Country Crush deadlift challenge list.
Yeah.
And did you see that they came up with some more formalized rules for that through Ode Haugen?
No, I hadn't seen that actually.
Okay. Well, the note that I have here is like the old list that they posted, like the old rules, and it was very basic and stuff like that. But it looked like they might have actually gone through and updated those, and I didn't end up grabbing them. But if you're in the Country Crush group on Facebook, all that information was posted there, and I believe it had Ode Haugen's name on it. I guess Ode really likes that implement. They've been using it on their Friday night training sessions that Ricardo Magni's been going to.
I've seen that. Yeah, those guys are constantly pulling some monstrous numbers too. I think there was even a recent tips tester record lift. Even it was over 200 pounds or something like that. I thought Joe had posted recently.
Yeah, that was darn. That was
Martin's Likas.
Yes, that's who it was. Yes, sir. I believe he's a world's strongest man competitor, so probably one of the strongest men in the nation.
Yeah, yep.
So kind of shows you the potential that's out there by some of the untested people. But at least, I guess in that regard, it's someone who you would expect to perform well in a grip implement, considering the fact that they're already a strength athlete. It's still kind of shocking to me when I see climbers coming out of nowhere and doing fantastic feats. Tanner, at least at this point, has 6 months of training under his belt, so it's not quite as shocking now. But, there's much less shock when you see a big strongman competitor that, might be 300 pounds or more pulling 200 pounds on an implement like that. So,
right.
But that, not to take anything away, it just shows you that there's some people walking around with that level of strength, even though they don't know it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Did you? Marco Bull had posted about this one, and it's there's a guy on Instagram. It goes by Ari Kunisi. I don't know if you follow him. It's ARICUNISI_. And he had posted a video of a guy named Andreas Brixa repping 200 kilograms on the Apollon's axle for 7 reps.
Wow.
Appears to be some sort of a strongman competitor. So yeah, there's a lot of these guys out there that are just, hitting some weights that, we're talking about, guys that it's beyond their 1 rep max, and these guys are just repping it all day long.
Yeah. I don't know either of those names right off, but sounds like that
there.
Dude is very talented.
Yep. Well, yeah, in the rain even. He had to wipe the axle off.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's been a very rainy, warm season this year, so it looks like I'm going to just leave my axle by the door, and when it starts raining, I'm going to take it out there, have a towel draped, and go for a PR, dude.
Well, yeah, it seems like that concept has always worked great for Bob Sundin, too, because you see some of his most epic lifts when it's storming out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's probably not a bad thing to try to implement into the training, maybe. I don't know why.
Well, there's been times, man, especially back in the days when I used to train in the garage with the rest of the diesel crew guys, where you'd walk in there and the humidity had created a situation where some of the challenge items were just almost completely dripping. I'm thinking inch dumbbell, blob, stuff like that. And if you chalk up real quick and you go hit that, sometimes, dude, you don't even need a warm-up. Like, that stuff comes right up due to that humidity. So there's almost like a sweet spot that you hit on the higher end of the humidity scale that creates a beneficial situation. So you want to be on the eye out, have your eye out for that just in case it ever happens. If it gets really moist in the room at SJ4 and it's your turn to take the medley, and you maybe say, hey, I'll go now if you'd like me to. Ha ha ha.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you just go slap your hands on the biggest feat items on there and you go for it. So, yeah. What do you think about the medley, man? That was announced just a few days ago. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I had looked that over. There's some of those. Let me see if I can bring that back up here. There's some of those things that I have never touched before. I think it looks good. I could personally use, I guess, just a little bit of rules clarification on it, but that's something to come more near the competition time, I guess. But it looks like there's going to be some good challenges for some people there. Looks like the inch dumbbell found its way in there. Some bigger blob lifts. It looks like there is going to be a 2-inch V-bar. I guess I thought it was both 1-inch. So, but yeah, I guess some things that are tricky. It looks to me like I'll probably, based on my interpretation so far, I'll probably be sticking with the lighter medley because it doesn't appear that we can go back and forth. But some good solid items. 60 seconds to try to blast through all of those. That ought to be interesting. So we'll see how that goes.
30 items, dude. 30 items in 60 seconds. That is moving. And that was I made the first comment there. First comment right there. Better be moving up in this piece. So 30 items, bro. That's going to be. You better be trucking. You better be moving hard, and you better not mess up your grip when you set it on something, because you're going to need all the time that you can get in order to get all those.
Yeah, this will be interesting. And I've never done any sort of a medley before, other than just when I doing some things in my normal workouts. So this will be a bit of a shock, but I'm really looking forward to it. So, and it's the way they're doing it too, where you're going by reverse. It's reverse of the overall scores. So, the higher you score, the farther you'll go in terms of the medley. So you get an opportunity to see build some strategy on it, see what people struggle with, and so it'll definitely pay to finish in the higher end. So
right.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Now, last year I remember, I think it was like double this number of items and like 4 times the time limit. So, I mean, that's my shady memory. I can't find the video. I don't know if it's posted or not. I know we taped it when I was there last year. That was the only event that I actually did was the medley. But I checked. This is like its own separate event. This is not part of the SJ4 contest scoring. This is going to be scored totally separately, I guess.
Yeah, that was my take on it too, because I thought this was actually going to happen back at Nate's house,
right
after the fact. So, yep.
And there's also another very, very talented grip guy that is going to be signing up. He just contacted me today, and I forwarded his email to Big Nate. This guy's name is Duvorn Harris. You recall that name at all, Alan?
No, I'm not familiar with that at all. Who is he?
Well, he is an arm wrestler. Now, this is what happened. Do you remember back last year, 2016, in March, Luke and I ran a grip contest, actually, prior to an arm wrestling competition?
Oh, yes, I do. I remember that, yep.
Yeah, and it was at the Tilted Kilt in Syracuse, New York. So we started the contest at 10, and then we were done with it by noon. And this Duvorn Harris found out about it that morning and wasn't going to be there by the start of the time. So we told him as long as he got here by noon or whatever it was, he could run back through the events, but he would have to do all the events one after the other. So I think it was like 3 or 4 events. And he came in, and I think he beat every single person in all the events, and he got like no rest. He had to go one event after the other in quick succession, and was able to beat everybody. I think he lifted either close to or equal to 100 pounds on the wrist wrench that day.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, he's a big, solid dude. I want to say he's definitely well over 250 pounds, much more broad and thick than I am. Huge hands on him, so very, very skilled at hand strength from his past in arm wrestling. And it's going to be really interesting to see what he can do on the actual implement, because I don't think he trains grip as far as a grip sports sense. I think he keeps most of his hand training centered around arm wrestling. But what he has been doing has given him, the good solid strength foundation that it carries over well to the implements that we're going to be using, especially the crusher. He's not going to have any trouble with that. And he didn't look to have too much trouble on the pinching stuff that he had to do at that contest 2 Marches ago either.
Nice. Yeah, so it sounds like there'll be potentially a couple arm wrestlers there then, between him and who is the other one? Storm Chilino might show up, possibly?
No, an update on Storm. He actually has a back injury right now that he's dealing with. So
okay.
He probably won't be making the trip, because he's also got a $1,500 super match going on coming up sometime fairly soon. So he probably won't be there.
Sure. Okay.
Are you familiar with the super match layouts of arm wrestling, Alan?
No, I'm not at all, actually. I see the only things on arm wrestling I see is stuff that, Raymond Cote puts on Facebook once in a while. But how is that laid out?
Well, basically how it works is, from what I can tell, is 2 dudes want to have a super match. They won't take part in the tournament, but rather they will put up their own money and just go against one dude for like a best out of 5 or a best out of 7, whatever they agree. And they'll just do those matches, and whoever's the first to 3 or first to 4 victories takes all the money.
I see. So Storms, theoretically, he's put up, I guess depending on how it works, so he puts up $750 and the other guy puts up $750, and then the winner takes home the $1,500. Is that the idea?
It could literally be $1,500 apiece. I'm not sure.
That would be.
It's a minimum of $750. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't ask for any more details, but I've been there where it's been $1,000, it's been $500. I've seen where there's been like 3 or 4 super matches, and it might be as low as buy the guy dinner. But it's an interesting concept to think about.
Oh, I like that concept actually. There would be great and easy ways to incorporate that into grip sport even.
Oh yeah.
If you took two guys, for example, and you just take an Apollon's axle even, and have a guy on one end of it, a guy standing on the other end, you pick it up with one hand, and you could almost, just add weight, whoever holds it longest, or things like that. So that would be fantastic. I mean, if somebody wanted to go that route with it, but yeah, you could do, boy, the possibilities.
I could see it even working. I could see it working a couple different ways. If like you could do something like a 3-event grip contest between two dudes that takes part separate from the contest, or you could say like these two dudes are going to be doing a super match. They're not involved in the actual contest, and they take their attempts as they fall, and then whoever wins between those two, they would get the victory. And there's also been, this is something you may not be aware of, Alan, there's been things called grudge matches in the past in grip where only two guys would go against one another. I don't know if you've ever heard of those before.
I haven't, but that I can think of some people that would be great to pair up. But that's interesting.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Well, yeah.
If I remember correctly, I think Big Steve Gardner and Theo Bergsgraf or something like that had grudge matches in the past, maybe once or twice. I don't know if you know the name Theo. You would know the name Theo, the first name, if you know the guy.
No, that doesn't ring a bell for me.
Okay, so this is several years back. I think he still does grip training, but he hasn't competed in grip sport in a while. And I think he had like the 1-inch vertical bar record at one point. Always seemed like a real nice guy, and they had a little grudge match between him and Steve Gardner. It wasn't like there was an actual grudge. That's just what they called it.
Sure.
It was just a kind of a one-on-one thing. There was no other competition going on. I think they might have had like a third-party neutral judge or something like that. And I think they did like grippers, two-hand pinch, and vertical bar because, in the early 2000s, vertical bar was very, very popular. There was none of this axle stuff, dude. It was like all 1-inch vertical bar. So,
sure.
I think it was Theo Bergsgraf. And I want to say that he was from Sweden, maybe. I'm not quite sure. Someone that's listening to this will know exactly where he's from and what his name is, and maybe he'll even chime in. But if you look that up on the grip board, if you do some innovative searching, I bet that'll come up.
Nice.
Yeah.
And that was the concept that they did. So they just basically bet on the one guy just put in his money. It was a similar thing though.
Well, I don't recall any money being at stake back then, so I don't know if there was money involved or not, but, that kind of format has existed where it could be adopted and money could just, be put up, ahead of time.
Sure.
Agreed upon ahead of time. But, I could see, like, each person throws out or, tosses out on the table maybe 3 events, and maybe they choose one that both people requested, and then the other 2 events would be events that were, strong points for that lifter, and then they agree upon what the events will be for the contest, and hey, you give them 3 months to train it, you bring up those lifts as much as you can, and you see who wins. There's lots of ways to do it.
Yeah.
So could be something that would be featured at upcoming contests that would make things a bit more interesting. A couple times Luke and I have just done our own weight class at the February contest that we hold. One year it was literally a grudge match between like me and him, and we were in our own category. So there's lots of ways for that to be implemented, but it's called the super match in arm wrestling.
Well, that's really clever. Yeah, yep. I like that idea. Yeah, you would think there'd be more almost behind the scenes betting even at some of these competitions like we have. A guy saying, I bet so much that I finished higher than you in the overall or something like that.
Right.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Real easy things to incorporate. So
yeah,
cool.
I don't know if I remember anybody that's ever, that I've heard anybody saying that. I do know that Pinky was trying to get that set up for Living Legends last year.
Right.
Like he knew something about like how to get that stuff going. I don't know anything about like betting or off track race betting or anything like that. Gambling's not my deal. I'm a real acey-deucey guy. Like if it's dealer choice when we're sitting around playing poker, I always pick acey-deucey. You know that game?
I don't. No, I'm not familiar with that.
Oh gosh, dude, greatest game ever, bro. The dealer sets a card down, or he sets two cards down, and let's say it's like a 4 and a king. You bet on whether or not the card that gets laid down next will be within 4 and a king. So if it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, then that's sequentially in between those two cards, so that person would win whatever he bet. But if it lies outside those cards, whether it's a 3, 2, or an ace, that would be a loss. So whatever number, whatever quantity he bet, he would have to pay it. And then if you hit one of the rim cards, if a 4 or a king comes up, then you have to pay what you bet doubled. So
nice.
yeah, I mean, and listen, dude, you can get some serious money going on these. I was playing acey-deucey last year in November with some friends from high school, and it got well over $200 in the pot. And
nice.
People were writing IOUs left and right. It was pretty crazy, man. So, yeah, but there's not a lot of strategy involved in acey-deucey. That's the main thing, and the ratios and whatever whatever it is when you're trying to decide whether the number that you want is coming up next, whatever that word is called. You don't really have to factor that in as much with acey-deucey. It's a little bit easier to just bet a quarter and see how it goes.
Sure. Cool. All right.
So, what else, dude? We got off track there. Let's do a few more minutes of recovery from this hole we're in.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see here. I guess some of my stuff is a little more current. The one thing that I had overlooked, and this was from, let me see when I intended to cover this here. This was definitely a couple calls back, but John Stepien, this was something he had put on his YouTube channel, but it was kind of his declaration. It sounded like he had talked off and on about trying to cert on the COC number 3. And he had put up a video clip where he took a new Captains of Crush number 3 in the package, opened it up. Yeah, I intended to cover this on call number 20, and closed it. Credit card set right out of the package. So it sounded like he was going to be in touch with Iron Mind about possibly trying to get on that list. I hadn't heard anything since, but that was one I wanted to put out there. So
yeah.
Good luck to him. It was a strong close. I mean, it definitely wasn't some gripper had just been laying around. He'd bought it and opened it up right on camera. So that's I definitely like seeing that sort of thing. No idea what it rated at, or just went for it. So cool.
Yeah, boy, John is just so talented at grip, and he's really good at grippers. And it would be awesome to see him dedicate himself to grip. I just don't think he likes it that much. I think he likes the idea of doing a grip contest like once, maybe twice a year. But I think he also likes the idea of training all kinds of different forms of strength, at his whim, a lot better. That he likes that idea a lot better. So either way, he's kind of a renaissance man when it comes to strength competitions. He's done just about everything, up to and including mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. Like he's an actual, he's graduated from wrestling school and performed in live matches before live crowds.
Oh wow! I didn't know that. I thought I heard he had maybe done some boxing or something like that, but I wasn't aware of the rest of it. So cool.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well-rounded then. Yep.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Oh.
Yep, and I saw that too. He put a hurting on that gripper.
Yeah. Yep. No doubt. Yeah. And I think in terms of my backlog, there's bound to be a couple other things that are buried in there, but those were the main things that that was pretty much the main thing I think that I hadn't gotten to that I wanted to touch base on. So otherwise, the few things I have are more recent than that.
Well, let me run down through a few of these, at least get them mentioned. We'll get caught up. I saw a dude on Instagram, and I don't know his actual name, but it was Mui Coco. Muikkokko. I don't know who it is, but he did 6 5-kilo play pinch. You know how you do like 5 10s and 6 10s? He did 6 5 kilos, so 6 11-pound plates.
That's impressive. Yeah, that's impressive.
Yep.
Let's see if I can look him up right now. Nice.
Yeah, Muikkokko. And do me a favor, Alan, if you can message me that guy whose name that you brought out earlier. I didn't get a chance to write that down, so message that to me sometime, and I'll get him followed. I just wanted to make sure, did we cover the fact that Tanner did a little bighorn one-hand pull-up?
I think we did, yes. I think we did. If we didn't, I guess I apologize. That was definitely one that was on my list from a while back, and at the same time, that was kind of going around. But we also saw Daniel Fleming, same period. He did a one-hand hold for 8 seconds on the little bighorn. I don't believe he did the pull-up. It was more or less just a hold. Impressive nonetheless. So
absolutely, yeah.
So, yep. So yeah, no, those guys have been absolutely killing it when they do that stuff. Yep, for sure.
Hey, and there was something that I wanted to cover. I don't know if this is really grip sport style stuff or whatever, but David Horn had mentioned this. He put up a post. He said, just back from collecting a wonderful gift from Eddie Hall for helping him in the past. It is a 225-kilo duck walk weight from the 2005 World's Strongest Man comp. As you can see, it is signed by the champ, too. Eddie and I got it in the car, and Elizabeth and I tentatively got it out. So I know that David has posted where he's worked with Eddie on his grip in the past, and it looks like after Eddie won the World's Strongest Man contest a few weeks ago, he kind of went back and told David thank you by giving him that present. And I thought that was kind of touching and good to see from one high-performing strength athlete to another.
Yes, that is great. Yep, awesome. Yeah, I knew David had worked with him too on that. So, yep. Sweet.
I saw that a guy named Edward Yannick bent a penny. He posted, my first penny bend, bent by hand with a leg crush and a single suede wrap, 1/16 of an inch away from a ½ inch. This was brutal. Thanks for the tips, Robert Najedli. This was the most that I could get. So another bent penny out in the world.
Nice. I've never done that. I've never even tried it. It doesn't look.
Neither have I. I think I tried it, dude. I think I tried it, and it hurt so bad that I wanted to cry, and I didn't ever try it again. And I think that was like 2005.
Yeah. Yep. That would stop me immediately. I would just think that would really dig in, and yep. I think there's been some. I think Jared Gogan's bent some pennies. I could be mistaken on that, but we've seen some of that here and there recently.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Another thing that I saw, did we cover that Ches closed a 194 Super Elite with a 30 millimeter block?
I think we did actually. Yeah.
All right.
Yep. And he just I guess one up that in my mind. He just hit a 198 Grand Elite Mash Monster set close.
Okay.
So that just came out this week. So yeah, he's in peak form for SJ4 too. We ought to see some big things out of him in that.
Okay, so he is going to SJ4?
That's that's what it sounded like. Yeah, they've had some trainings and stuff, and that's what he had in mind. So, yep.
All right. Okay, so that's another. I got to get another crowbar lined up. Very good. Been meaning to say congrats to the Derniat boys, Andrew and his brother Michael. They just completed an Ironman contest in 14 hours and 56 minutes. He said Michael Derniat was first out of the water. I passed him on bike, and we rejoined at mile 11 on the run to finish it out. So I don't know if you saw that, man, but that's what Derniat was up to for a while.
Nice. Wow. No, I knew he'd been Yeah, I knew he'd been working on some of that sort of stuff, but I hadn't. He doesn't seem to put a whole lot on Instagram or anything from what I'd seen. So that's
He's been
cool.
putting more up, though. I'll tell you, dude. He's been doing a lot of work with overhead lifting recently, and he's been putting more stuff up. I don't know if you've been seeing it.
No, I guess I must have just been missing some of that stuff apparently.
Yeah.
So cool. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I'll have to pay a little more attention. So.
Yeah, you better, dude. You better. Did we ever cover that Big Iric did the thumbless inch lift?
We did. We did talk about that. Yep.
All right,
he
good.
joined the list, the short list of people that have done the thumbless inch lift. So yep,
okay.
Yep. Good for him.
Good.
Yeah, I think we talked about that around the time we talked about him taking up sprinting, actually, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Okay.
So,
Very good. Very good. What about Tim Butler doing 349.2 pounds on the 2-inch handles, 2-inch Country Crush handles.
Oh no, that I missed.
Yeah.
349.2.
Yeah, dude.
That's up
Big.
there. That's way up there. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Says he got a few inches off the ground with 369.2 and a nearly full lift with 354 also. So.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, dude. Ode House.